in. So I'm just going to give a quick talk about this. It's kind of like Facebook, but for coworkers and classmates. It's just a good idea to add classmates and coworkers onto LinkedIn instead of Facebook, unless you're really good friends with them. You can't control what your real friends in life post on your pages, and also like your coworkers probably don't need to see your vacation photos and stuff like that, right? Like kind of have that professional divide. That's one. And the other thing is, so LinkedIn has training. They have um, little courses. When you apply with LinkedIn, if you pay, you can see how you stack up to other applicants, which is kind of interesting. If you do that, you're doing your job search, so you just pay for a couple of months. Not saying you have to do that. Some other things is it builds up your network. So like if people are posting that they need a job position, so you see those. It'll email you when jobs show up that are related to your background. And some other things is like you can use it for messaging. So if like a former classmate or coworker, you remember like, hey, like that guy talked about that thing, that form for safety glasses, that would be good to get. And then you can contact them on LinkedIn instead of calling or whatever, and then files attached, and it's kind of good that way. So going to the job area, it'll pre-scan your background. So as you filled out your profile here, like your profile with your education and your previous working background, it'll start filling that in. Also kind of like there's a resume builder and a bunch of other stuff. So it's a good idea to get on there, start adding people. I recommend, like, you're like, oh, like I don't graduate until June. Well, it's a good idea to see kind of what the jobs out there are like, because like you don't know what companies are going to have what jobs posted at by the time you graduate. So it's kind of a good idea to have that. Also, you can start seeing like what they're looking for, so you can start building your resume towards that, because you do not want to rush your resume. Like you want your resume to be like perfect, so when you apply for a job, you really like pop out as like the one of the best candidates, right? Some other things to think of is you can turn on the notifications for there. So like again, you type in like safety, Regina, and then see what jobs are popping up. The one thing you might have to do with safety is add in other words like safety coordinator, safety manager, safety whatever, because safety is going to be in almost every description, right? Like, I mean, this is an accounting firm. So you have to kind of your judgment on that. So safety coordinator, safety advisor, safety manager, kind of the key ones for that. Some other things then going on is Indeed is the other main job website. They'll auto email you as well. So just hit up Saskatoon this time, and then safety, and then it'll recommend some of the words for that. And this is November 3rd. So you're just scrolling through. These are the main safety jobs that are posted. So before you start applying for all these like superintendent jobs, look at how many years experience they want. Not saying don't apply, but like you have to have realistic hopes for those. The other thing is, if you're willing to move, almost there's always safety jobs in smaller communities too. I used to live in this town, so Fort St. John, BC is kind of the industrial north part of the province. And they have, like it's a town of 20,000 people, and they have 10 safety jobs usually posted at any time. So maybe that was helpful. You want to the other thing I just forgot about with Indeed, have a good photo of yourself, like look professional, like you're going for a job interview. have a neat background, like tidy background, like a wall, not too much graphics on it. You know, right. The thing I'd like to, I always throw it is to people is try and put yourself in the person's role that's hiring you. Like, what do they want to hire, right? They want to hire somebody that's knowledgeable in the subject area and isn't going to cause problems for the organization when they get hired, right? So, like, you want to be perfect sliding into that role for their mind, right? And then same with like whoever your supervisor is going to be, like, what are they expecting? And you kind of know what they're expecting because they post that stuff in the job posting. So in a lot of ways, people, I'll be honest, and myself, I used to not spend a lot of time reading the job postings, just the title and then apply. And then I had a poor rate of response, especially after business school. So that definitely improved when I started tailoring the cover letter and the resume to the job. So then, like, whatever that organization thought was important, I tailored it to that. And like I said before, I think the big thing too is if you look up behavioral questions for interviews, that's kind of how most organizations are interview now. So they throw like, describe a time you didn't get along with a coworker, or and then what did you do, and like that kind of stuff. So there's about 25 of them that they use all the time, and you really want to practice those before you have an interview, especially thinking of relevant experiences. So like the fact you didn't get along with a coworker like 5 years ago in a service industry job is probably not the best example. You probably could think of something more related to safety, like even on your practicum or something like that, right? So you're trying to really like get those behavioral questions down packed too for the interviews, and then that's you come off as really knowledgeable and competent that way. Thanks. Hopefully this was helpful, John. Bye.